How much has YouTube paid me? Nobody asked, but I'm going to let you know. I have another YouTube channel, which is a monetized channel, and I have about 2,000 subscribers on that channel. And I'm going to show you my analytics so that you can understand monetization better, because I know that when you're starting off on YouTube, it can be tricky to understand analytics and how monetization actually works. So in order to get monetized on YouTube with long form content, you need to have 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers within a 1 year time frame. Now, this can feel like it's a lot to actually achieve. And to be fair, yes, it can be. Getting the watch hours, it can be hard for many people, right? And getting 1,000 subscribers, I know that's also quite tricky. And you may think, well, how will I possibly achieve that? Now, the thing with YouTube is that you learn over time. You learn what is working on your channel and what isn't working on your channel. And how you get money through YouTube is through AdSense as a monetized YouTuber. Now, AdSense is many companies, they actually place ads on to YouTube videos via YouTube. And obviously YouTube gets a percentage of this money, but YouTube also gives the monetized YouTuber a percentage of this money. So that's what AdSense is. Now, people also make money through YouTube through sponsorships. For example, if you are wearing a fancy watch and you love this watch, and that watchmaker reaches out to you and says, can you talk about your watch? We'd love to sponsor your video. And, they can then sponsor your video for you. So there are different ways. There are also brand deals, right? For example, just say you have a course and you use Skillshare and you want to talk about Skillshare, you can have a brand deal with Skillshare. So people are making money on YouTube. And I think many people don't realize that you can make money on YouTube. And they often think that AdSense is the biggest way that you can make money on YouTube. But actually, big YouTubers, they don't make the most money on YouTube. They actually do it through brand deals and sponsorships and by actually creating courses, etc. Now, I'll tell you something. When you're starting on YouTube, you'll have this burst of energy to get started and you'll feel inspired and motivated and you'll have all these great feelings, right? And then what happens is you'll publish those videos and you'll see that hardly anybody's watching and you'll feel so demotivated. And this is why many YouTubers quit. This is why many YouTubers don't get monetized, because they quit too early. They don't see those views, they don't get the subscribers, and they think, oh, I'm terrible at this. I'll never get better. There's no way that I'm going to get monetized. But here's the thing, right? When you practice at something, you don't become perfect at it, but you get better through time. So yes, initially when you're starting on YouTube, you won't be this pro YouTuber. You won't be this professional YouTuber. You won't be this fantastic YouTuber. Why? Because you are only starting. But over time, every time you create a video, every time you practice talking on camera like I am right now, I'm using my phone, by the way, always use my phone, no need for fancy equipment. I know that I am putting in this practice of getting better at talking, right? At feeling more like myself instead of a robot, which I used to sound like. And that's the beauty of time, and that's the beauty of practice. So please don't feel so disheartened when you put out videos and you aren't getting views, because the more that you create, the better you will become. There's no way that you're going to keep creating content and practicing to speak on camera and getting to know what your audience likes and not actually improving just a little bit, right? And every time you improve, you will start to see the quality of your videos shift, right? Look at your first video versus your 200th video. You'll start to see the difference, and you're slowly building your own portfolio of videos, right, with your YouTube channel. And you will see that people will comment and you will start to see what resonates with your audience. You will build your own community on YouTube. So yes, get started for sure, but also get started and keep going, because action is so important. With your YouTube channel, it is so important to actually not overthink. Don't analyze. You want to get monetized. You want your YouTube to thrive. You want to have financial rewards from your channel. The only way that you can actually do that is by looking to improve your content and by just creating the content. Because if you, yes, have the strategy in place, I always advocate for strategy, but if you don't action it, if you aren't consistently creating content, right, then you are limiting the number of times that you can possibly win on YouTube. You're limiting the number of times that your content can resonate with your audience. So I said, I am going to show you my analytics. I am going to show you how much I make, right, since being monetized on that YouTube channel month on month, so that you get a clearer indication of what AdSense can look like. But what I will say to you is that with YouTube, you have to make sure that you maintain your mental health. Maintain your mental health. And I say this because YouTube can feel like a roller coaster, the highs, the lows. And when you see your views going up, you can feel, oh, so proud of yourself. Yay, I did it. Views going down. Oh, I'm such a loser. This is awful. Don't use numbers to validate who you are as a person, because if you do that, you'll feel like YouTube is ruling your life. And I know that's so dramatic, right? But when you are a YouTuber, and when you do look at the numbers, you can at times fixate on the numbers. So maintain a healthy balance, right? Maintain a healthy balance between creating content, yes, like I said, be consistent, true, but also have a life outside of YouTube. Also enjoy time with your family and friends. Also read that book that you've been wanting to read. Go and watch that movie. You need to also have balance, because sometimes when we are driven by a goal of, yes, I want to monetize my YouTube channel, we can put in so much effort in the first 6 months as a new YouTuber and then completely burn out. We completely burn out, and then we think, okay, I'm just going to give this up. I tried. This is it. It's not working. Instead of burning out, rather think, okay, you know what? I am going to put in this effort, but I'm also going to strive for balance, and therefore I'm less likely to get burnt out. And I say this because I have been burnt out. I have created a great deal of content, and sometimes I have to remind myself that, hey, Kish, by the way, I'm Kish, nice to meet you. I have to remind myself that, hey, Kish, you know what? Life is not only about YouTube. Have perspective, have a healthy attitude towards this. And it's difficult when you want to pursue your goals, when you want to achieve your goals. It can sometimes be the thing that you wake up and think about, the thing that you sleep and think about. It can be all consuming, okay? But make sure that you know that sometimes you just have to go outside and enjoy the feeling of sunshine. You truly do, because life is meant to be enjoyed. And yes, YouTube is fun, but it can also be taxing on your mental health. And I didn't understand that. Going to YouTube, I didn't understand how taxing it can be on your mental health. Now you may say, yes, I want to monetize my YouTube channel, Kish, but I don't even know what niche to get into. Well, what are you really interested about? You are the go-to person for what? Fill in the blank. And if you really are interested in that particular topic, whether it is cooking or sewing or fixing cars, maybe start with that. And can you actually create hundreds of videos around that content? If you feel like you can't, then that isn't your niche. Because remember, YouTube is not for today and tomorrow. It's a long-term thing, right? And it also depends. How do you see this? Is this just your hobby? Is this something where you just want to have fun? Or do you see it as a business? And because you're watching a video about monetization, you clearly also want to make money from it, right? At some point. And I'm all here for that, because at the end of the day, you're putting time and effort and you're committing to this. So yes, having a financial reward by putting in your creativity, that's fantastic too. So I'm all here for that. So with your niche, don't overthink it, right? Because remember, even if you start with one particular niche, like you want to start with talking about volleyball, but then you realize, oh, I can't talk about volleyball for 100 videos. And then you think, oh, but what I'm really passionate about talking about is finances. Then you can change your niche, you can change your niche. So that's the other thing about YouTube. It is so much about experimentation. It really, really, really is a great deal of finding out what works for you, what works for your channel, what your audience resonates with. So don't think that you have to start with one thing and you have to 100% stick to it, because if you don't, that's the end of the world. It is not. So on the monetized YouTube channel that I have made a total of $44.91, right? And you may think that this is not a big amount, but to me, the fact that I made money online was huge for me, because I have never made money online before. So to understand that digital marketing and making money online is a real thing, it was just really, really exciting to see this. And it still is exciting for me to see this. And it took me over a year to monetize this YouTube channel. And, I got the watch hours through a single video. That was great. But the subscribers, that took me a long time to get. And my watch page ads, so the AdSense on the watch page ads is $16.14, right? Short feed ads, $28.77. So I actually made more money with my YouTube shorts than on my long form content, okay? And with supers and gifts, I didn't make any money with that. Now, you can see that daily figures differ, okay? And that's because in certain months, I was really, really consistent, whereas in other months, I wasn't consistent at all. So it depends. How many videos are you putting out? What is your CPM, right? Cost per milli, and your RPM on certain videos. So you can put out content on your same channel, and your RPM, revenue per milli, can be very different, even if your videos are on the same channel. So I monetized this particular YouTube channel in September last year, right? So it's, close to 1 year now of being monetized on this channel. Again, so you'll say, well, $44.91. But many small YouTubers, they actually don't make that much money on AdSense. I think I also thought, people make huge amounts of money, like all YouTubers who are monetized make huge amounts of money on YouTube. Yes, some people do make thousands of dollars. It just depends on how much content are you putting out, which niche are you in. Finance YouTube channels that are monetized, they do get decent RPM, right? So their estimated revenue can be much higher than, say, a cooking channel, for example. So in October, I made $27.80, September $6.51, November $3.80, December $1.34, and even some as low as May this year was 51 cents, right? And July currently is 38 cents. So, it differs so much. So October, $27.80 versus this year, May, 51 cents. So you can see that if you think that your AdSense will be exactly the same every single month, that is not true. And with the analytics, it tells you the watch page ads, estimated revenue from AdSense and double-click ads for the selected date and region. It tells you playback CPM, how much advertisers pay every 1,000 times your watch page content is viewed with ads. So that total there is $10.81. YouTube Premium. This is where I think people pay to not watch ads, right? But you still get money from this. So when you look at this amount, $44.91, I'm sure that when you get your monetized YouTube channel and if you are consistent, your numbers should be higher than this, right? So don't feel like, oh, then if she got this amount, I'm going to get this very, very low amount. No, it doesn't work like that at all. Every monetized YouTuber, There are so many variables involved. It also depends on who is watching your audience, where's your audience based, etc. There are many, many variables involved. And I always like looking at analytics, and I like seeing, okay, how much is this YouTuber making? When they create videos like this, I always found it fascinating, because I think that the more knowledge that you have, it helps you to feel better prepared, so that one day when you are monetized, you can understand that, okay, if I'm earning as little as $3.80 in 1 month, $3.80 in 1 month, maybe I can actually earn far more in another month. It just depends on what content I'm putting out, how consistent I'm creating the content, etc. Now, you are feeling inspired, you are feeling motivated to continue on your YouTube channel, but you may also have not even started your YouTube channel, and I completely understand that. And you think, do I need fancy equipment to start my YouTube channel? Absolutely not. Start with what you have. I'm using my phone. I've always used my phone. Yes, this is a fancy mic, but I didn't always have this mic. So please don't feel like I will start my YouTube channel when I have this, when I have that, when I look this way, when I feel at my best. No, don't procrastinate. Remember, we all don't have infinite number of time here on this earth, right? Our time will one day be up, right? And don't regret not starting a YouTube channel. Don't regret thinking, oh, I wonder what would have happened if I started my YouTube channel. Start with what you have. And along the way, you can then buy fancy equipment, etc. But if you keep putting it off, you'll be like me, and you'll put off YouTube for years and then think, oh, I should have just started. I really, really just did overthink this whole thing. So don't procrastinate, right? You have a dream, pursue your dream. And what if my YouTube channel tanks? What if it is a complete failure? So what? We view failure so terribly. And I say this because I also used to view failure as this really negative thing. But it is cliched but true. But failure is part of your success, right? And with YouTube, you may think you fail in terms of the views, etc. But look at what you are learning along the way. Not only are you learning about YouTube, right? You're learning about editing, how to talk on camera. You are learning about your audience, etc. But you're also learning about yourself. You are learning about patience, about determination. You're learning about stepping out of your comfort zone. These are all life lessons. And life lessons are so important. I'm a 42-year-old YouTuber. For a long time, I thought I was too old to have a YouTube channel. I had to set my mindset straight to understand that it is not too late to pursue your dreams. So I have now incorporated that mindset into my life, because sometimes we limit our own capabilities. Sometimes it's not the outside world that's limiting us, but it's our inner world, our mind, that is limiting us. So please don't feel like you don't have the tools, that you aren't the right age, that you don't have the right look, etc. to start YouTube. Please don't limit yourself. Do I need to show my face on YouTube? There are channels which are faceless channels, and if you are really feeling like you want to start YouTube but you do not want to show your face, then fine, those are your options. You can have video footage and do voiceovers, right? But here's the thing. Most of us feel anxious to be seen like this, right? You're watching me now. We all have that bit of fear that, oh gosh, do I look right? Oh, am I saying the right thing? We all have that, because why? We are human. We are human. And you will find that initially you may feel so scared to show your face, but over time, it's not like your fear is going to completely go away, but it decreases, right? It really, really does decrease. And sometimes we can scrutinize ourselves so much. Oh, I don't like this about myself. I don't like that about ourselves. And, oh boy, we think that the outside world sees us the way we see ourselves. But that's also not true. And this is why you grow in confidence on YouTube. You grow in confidence. When you start showing your face on camera like this, and the next time you do it, you feel more at ease, and you feel more at ease and more at ease. And you start feeling confident. You start feeling good about yourself, because you are staring fear right in the face, and you are doing your thing. You're putting yourself out there. So don't feel like you absolutely can't show your face on camera, because you may surprise yourself. Once you do it and you keep doing it, you may realize, oh, I didn't need to be scared about this. I'm okay. I'm getting comfortable. That's the beauty of time, and that's the beauty of stepping out of your comfort zone time and time again. What should my first video be about? Okay, so you know that you're really passionate about, for example, sewing. Create your first video about how to start sewing as a beginner, right? So easy little steps for a person who wants to start sewing. Or just say you love cooking. Create a first video about one of your favorite meals, right? So start off small. Don't expect your first video to go viral. Because if you expect that and you only see that you have 1 or 2 views, you're going to be highly disappointed. Set realistic expectations as well. And also, please don't check your first video 100 times to see how many views you have. Once you created and published your first video, move on to your next video. Yes, see what you can do better in your next video, but move on to your next video. Don't do like hectic postmortems on your past video, because then you can get into the spiral of overthinking yet again. What if no one watches my videos? Well, to be honest, when you're a new YouTuber just starting off, you won't see many views at first, As you start creating more content, you'll get more views. But just because you don't see many views in your first videos doesn't mean to say that you should stop creating content. Because over time, you will build your community, you will get more views. Because you will start getting better at creating content, you'll put out better quality videos, and you'll start to build your community of people. So please don't feel like YouTube is this overnight success, because for the far majority of us, it isn't overnight success. It is putting in years of effort, right? And hoping that, that effort will show up in building the community, having subscribers, seeing views, etc. And also enjoying the process. I think sometimes we fixate so much on the destination of getting a monetized YouTube channel that we don't enjoy the process of getting there. So the process should be equally enjoyable, because that's the beauty of life, right? That we're enjoying the day-to-day and not just the one day when I get monetized. Does that make sense to you? Also, a tip for you, when you have your YouTube channel and you are creating content like this, please don't feel that overwhelming feeling of, I'm talking to hundreds of people. This is so scary. Rather think of it as, I'm talking to one person. I'm talking to a friend, you, my friend, and we are just having a chat, a relaxed, cool, comfy chat. Start thinking of it in that way. I'm telling you, you'll start feeling at ease. You really, really will. You'll be like, hey, Kish, I can do this. I can do this. This is doable. And you'll start feeling good about creating content. But if you feel like, oh my gosh, all these people are going to be watching me. This is terrifying. Oh, I said this word wrong. Oh, do I look okay? And it becomes all-encompassing that you can't even get your words out, right? So just a little tip for you. And my YouTube channel is all about being a small YouTuber. I talk about the highs, the lows, successes, failures, all of that, so that I can share with other small YouTubers what it feels like to have a small YouTube channel. And, I find YouTube to be fascinating and frustrating. Fascinating and frustrating. Yes. Because, there are days. There are days when you will question, why have you started a YouTube channel? And also remember your why. Because when you remember your why, it motivates you to continue with your YouTube channel. Have a fantastic week. Comment below and let me know where are you watching from. Do subscribe as well. And it's always interesting to know where people are watching from. Have a beautiful week. And remember, keep everything in balance. Your YouTube life as well as your personal life. Always love and light to you.